Hi everyone, my name is Melissa Bender and I'm going to take you through a great workout today. So for today we are focusing on doing some yoga. So we're going to do some stretching, some mobility, and some strength. And we're going to do a little bit of everything. The only thing you need is a yoga mat. If you don't have one, you can use a towel or just a comfortable space on your floor that you don't mind putting your hands and feet. It's best to be barefoot, or I have some yoga socks with non-slip on the bottom because it's a little bit chillier down here. My feet get cold really easily. But barefoot is wonderful for yoga. It helps your feet find their position. It helps you ground into the floor. So without further ado, let's go straight into our flow today. Let's start in a plank position. So if plank is still pretty intense for you, you can do this from the knees, either down or knees lifted, heels lifted rather, or else you can come onto the toes. We're going to try and make a straight line from heels to hips to the crown of your head. So hip bones can slightly pull in toward the low ribs. We're going to hold and breathe. And we're going to slow chaturanga. So we're going to take our elbows in toward our sides, really slow toward the mat, hover, and then we're going to push forward, coming onto the tops of our feet into up dog. Hips are pressing toward our hands. Chin is either neutral or you can look up if you prefer. Thighs are away from the floor, or maybe they're touching. That's okay too if you need a little bit more support. We're going to rock over the toes, coming up into down dog. So if this is your first down dog, you might be a little stiff. You can start by bending the knees, thinking about lengthening the armpits and flattening out the back, and then we'll add the drop of the heels toward the floor or toward the mat. Breathe. And you can bend here, just kind of loosening up as we go into our first down dog of the flow. Breathe. We're going to look forward. We're going to take a big step forward with our left foot. So knee is going to come into our chest, and we're going to try and step heel to toe. Back edge of the back foot comes down, and we're going to lift. Warrior one. So sinking into it, into that front thigh. Breathe. We're going to open to warrior two. Looking out over the middle finger, shoulder blades gently pulling together. Breathe here. Forward again to warrior one. And then hands are going to come down on either side of the foot, and we're going to find plank pose. Breathe. Slow chaturanga. You can hover at the bottom if you're able to. Then come up to up dog. Thinking about lengthening from the low back. And then rocking over the toes. Again, you can have a bend in the knees. You can keep it there if you need to, or you can straighten the legs. Breathe. Always connecting with that breath. It lets us know how we're feeling. We can learn a lot about ourselves and how our body's doing based on our breathing pattern. When you're ready, look forward. Right knee pulls into the chest this time. Big step forward. Again, trying for heel to toe. If you go toe to heel, that's okay too. Back edge of the foot comes down, and we're going to stretch forward, lifting up and starting in warrior one. Breathe. Opening to warrior two. Squeezing those shoulder blades gently together, looking out over the middle finger of the front hand. So both arms are active. We're not just releasing into it. We're actively stretching toward each wall. Warrior one. And hands come down. Find your plank. Hold. This time we're going to come into a side plank. So if you need to here, the bottom knee can come down. If you want to add a little bit extra, that top leg can lift. Otherwise, just come into your side plank. This top leg, if you're able to, is going to lift. Then we're going to step over, pressing up, wild thing pose. Bring it back in, through center, find your plank. We're going to do the same thing on the other side. Switch sides, toes come up, arm reaches, and then we're going to step over, lift the chest toward the ceiling, arm stretches, breathe. And unwind, coming back through plank. Good job. We'll come down through child's pose. Take some of the pressure off of our arms, release through the back. Breathe. Good job, guys. Lift up onto hands and knees. We're going to take a right knee forward into a runner's lunge. So we're going to push the hips toward our heel and just stretch into it, thinking about stretching the front of the hip flexor, the front of the quadricep. Breathe. And we're going to take that outside hand to the outside of our hip and stretch up and over. And come through, straightening that front leg for half split. First with toes down toward the mat. And then lifting those toes, trying to keep the bend, or the forward fold rather, as you deepen that intensity through the back of the leg. Good job, guys. Bend into it. We're going to switch sides. So just nice switch here. And then we're going to press into it. And breathe. Thinking about that stretch through the front of the hip of the back leg. Taking our hand to the outside of the hip, stretching up and over. Unwind, hands coming to either side of the foot. We're going to straighten that leg, bend over it, toes first, reaching toward the mat. You might be higher up for this bend. It's a deeper bend. That's fine too. Don't force anything. Just listen to your body. And then we're going to lift those toes, trying to keep that forward fold stretching through the back of the leg. Good job, guys. Come down, and we're going to come into a 90-90 position. I'm going to turn to face you guys. Actually, I'll turn it an angle so you can see a little bit more. So front knee is bent at a 90-degree angle, straight out from the hip. Back knee is bent at a 90-degree angle, straight out from the hip. So we're going to start out right here, and we're going to do 4 rotations back and forth. So we're going to go 1, just nice and slow. Rotate back. 1 more each way. Just getting some nice internal and external rotation through those hips. Good job. And then we're going to lean out over it. Breathe and stretch. up and fold. Lift up. This time arms are going to come out and we're going to fold. Holding the arms out. And lift. Other side. So same thing. We're going to start with our hands forward and we're going to fold. Trying to release into it. And lift. Fold. And lift. Fold. Good job. This time we're going to add the outstretched arms. So come up and then lean forward. Using the strength through your core for that lift and lower. Breathe. And lift. Good job, guys. And unwind. So we're going to do fire log pose next. We're going to straighten this knee out from the hip and take the other on top. So if you're more limber through the hips than I am, you might be touching both knees to ankles right here. If not, if you're a little bit tighter, maybe you're up here, maybe you're right where I am. Doesn't matter as long as you're listening to your body. Flexibility and mobility improve with time and practice. So if you want to give a little bit of an extra stretch here, if your body says it's okay, hand can come to the shin and the outer thigh and gently apply a little bit of pressure. So not too much, just enough where you feel that stretch through the hip increase. And we're going to gently lean forward just an inch or two, hinging at the hip. So we're not just bending at the back, we're stretching forward, bringing those hip bones kind of toward the thighs. And then we're going to take the other side. So this is more some nice stretch and recovery here. So as you switch, again, make sure that that knee is out from the hip. Ankle comes up on top of the opposite knee. And we can again put a gentle pressure if your body says yes. So you'll know pretty quickly if your body says yes or no. It's just a matter of making sure you're paying attention to what it says and not forcing anything. You know, we're used to going hard, especially during interval workouts and things where it's as many reps as possible, get in as much as you can. In yoga, we want to really tap into how our body's feeling, how we're doing, and listening to what our limits are. Doesn't mean that you can't grow and expand your limits, but for right now, for today, this is where you are, and that's perfect. Okay, so just be aware of that. Try to practice without judging yourself or thinking, oh, I'm not good at this, or, you know, whatever your brain is coming up with. I want you to just try and be happy with where you are right at this moment. Good job, guys. Unwind. Beautiful. We're going to stretch our feet forward and forward fold long. So if you want, you can come up a little bit on the inhale and then deepen your stretch on the exhale. Come up on the inhale. Deepen that stretch on the exhale. One more time. Good job. And now we're going to balance on our butts. I'm going to just turn so you guys can see. Finding boat pose. And we're going to hold. If you like a more advanced version of boat pose, you can extend the legs. Your choice. They're both effective. And then we're going to go to low boat, stretching back. pulling the belly in and using those muscles to lift and stretch back and lift. Good job. 2 more times. Stretch back and lift. 1 more time. Stretch back and lift. Good job. Hug the knees into your chest. Beautiful. And then we are going to come up to standing. And we're going to go right into a forward fold. We're going to stretch our arms up first. And then we're going to swan dive forward, arms long. And release into it. So if you need to, you can have a little bend in your knees. That is entirely up to you. We're going to stretch one leg back. And then keeping the hips squared. So what I mean by that is both hip bones are going to point toward the floor. Knee and pinky toe are going to point toward the floor. We're going to lift that back leg however high it can go. Breathe. And then we're going to open to the side and lift a little bit higher. Hold. We're going to pulse 5 times here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Close that hip. Pulse. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Switch sides. Forward fold it first. Okay, and other side. First, keeping the hips square, lift as high as it goes. And then opening the hip and lifting a tiny bit higher if you can. 5 little pulses. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Square that hip. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And then we're going to lower. Forward fold. Good job. And we're going to prepare for warrior 3. So we're going to bend. We're going to come up just a little bit, flattening the back and extending one leg. We'll start with hands at our heart, thinking about making a straight line from heel to hips to head. We're going to lift that back foot. If you can, you're going to add the stretch of the arms. Hold. One more deep breath. Fingertips come down. Lower. Prep for the other side. So little forward fold. Little bend. Leg comes back. Hands start at your heart. We're going to lift, finding that straight line from heel, hips to crown. Adding the arms when you're ready. Good job. And come down. Forward fold again. Breathe. Excellent. Kind of rocking back and forth between the feet. If you want to make it a little deeper, you can grab the backs of the legs. We're going to separate the feet a little bit. Heel toe out, toes coming out into Malasana. So that's our deep yoga squat. So depending on how much mobility you have at the backs of your ankles, you might be up a little bit higher on the toes, or you might be dropped all the way down. Again, just listen to your body. Don't force anything. Just kind of be aware. It's going to change by the day and based on how much hydration you have, how much sleep you got, what kind of exercises you did. Flexibility fluctuates. Fittingly, right? Breathe. Good job. I'm going to turn just so you guys can see me. So we are going to take our hands down slightly in front of one foot, and then we are going to scoot the other leg out until our toes lift up. So butt is dropping, hands can come to your heart or be slightly more in front of you. I'm going to adjust my leg a little bit there. There we go. Breathe. Stretching through the back of this leg, through the hips. One more breath here, and then we're going to switch sides. So we'll just walk it out to the other side. So trying to lift the chest just a little bit. Toes turning up toward the ceiling. Good job. Excellent. And we're going to come down, lay on our bellies. Good job. And we're going to take one foot stepping over at an angle, just opening through those hips. Little twist for the back and unwind. Other side. So stepping up and over. Breathe. And unwind. Pushing back into child's pose. And finishing here, so just stretch out. So more stretch focus today, recovery, relaxation. I know it's what my body needed today. So hopefully it's what your body needed too. And you found that this quick little yoga flow helped stretch you out, helped you feel a little bit better. And I will see you guys soon. As always, this will be free on my website, benderfitness.com. Along with over 1,000 other home workouts, from yoga, more yoga, to low impact interval training, high impact interval training, dumbbells, running, a little bit of everything, anything you can do at home. So I will see you there. And if you are able to make a donation to help us stay free and sustainable, you can do that at patreon.com/benderfitness. I will see you guys soon with a new workout.